and gentlemen, welcome to episode 49 of Petey's Awesome Guest Panel, and this is a very special one because my guest star tonight is. Before I introduce this man, let me just say his accolades first. He is a four-time OVW Ohio Valley Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. He is a two-time Ohio Valley Wrestling Southern Tag Team Champion. He is a two-time WWE Tag Team Champion. And quite frankly, too, this gentleman was very vital during tag team times in pro wrestling in 2003 in the WWE because this man helped revolutionize the tag team business in the WWE, as he was part of one of the best tag teams on SmackDown during the Ruthless Aggression Hour. My guest this time is Mr. Doug Basham. Doug, how are you today, sir?
Good. How are you, buddy?
Good, and you? And also, I want to add, too, that you were also ranked number 50 in the top 500 singles wrestlers in 2003 in the Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Man, there's 50 guys better than me?
I do have a question before we get to OVW questions, sir. First of all, this is going to be a cliche question, but how did you get your first big break in pro wrestling?
How did I get my first big break in pro wrestling? Well, I was 22 years old, and I got my break with the USWA, and I got that through my Uncle Danny. he knew people. He pulled some strings, and I got my first job.
Awesome.
I was 22.
Cool. Now, you also have
stuff going on in the ring back here too. We got Mahabali Shira.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's doing a moonsault. We got the Greek goddess Megasis.
That's incredible.
There. We got the fanny pack kid Cal Hero. I don't know if y'all can see that Cal Hero.
You go, Cal Hero.
We have a couple of up and comers right here. I don't know if you can see them.
I see.
That's Donovan and Grant. We're just going to call them Donovan and Grant because I can't give away their superstar names yet.
Sure.
We're here wrapping up some training today.
That's awesome. And see the
OVW. He's on Impact. He's on Impact Wrestling, so he's here learning from
one and only Doug Basham.
Learning a few tricks.
Mr. Basham, I also want to know too, like you had a match on Saturday, I think it was called Shotgun Saturday against Christian in May of 1999. What were your memories working with Christian on WWF television?
Well, the one thing I remember is about that match is I messed up a snapmare, and he went to go give me a snapmare, and I thought I was getting a neck breaker, and so I messed that up. And so they erased that from TV, and he had to do it again. And he kicked me in the back, went like, "Come on, kid." I was like, "Ah." But the funny thing about that story is when I moved down to Tampa, Florida, me and Christian, we became great friends. You know, we used to go and had Thanksgivings together and went to his house all the time, and we'd go golfing all the time. So we became really good friends. So that was very ironic.
Very cool. And now I see that awesome OVW ring, though. Memories of your time in OVW.
Memories. I mean, dude, 10 years of my life of training was spent in this ring I'm about to go get in. And pretty cool we're doing this here at OVW. Oh, look right here. Check this out. I'll get to it. We didn't have this entrance in OVW whenever I was here. The entrance was over here, and it was not on a stage. We didn't have a lot of this arena wasn't built like this. And we didn't have metal steps either. And what's going on? Everybody's working on the simple stuff, little easy stuff. So I got so many memories, man. Some of the best times, probably some of the best times I can remember was when I was, whenever some WWE guys would come down on injured, working after they've been injured in rehab, they'd come down here, and I was usually one of the guys that always got to work with them, like Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, and Rhino, and Bradshaw, and all those guys. So those were some of the best times, and then just some of the best work I think I've ever done, correct English, was in OVW with Jimmy Cornette was a writer. The whole Revolution machine gimmick, it was amazing.
Very cool. And I was watching some footage of your work in OVW. I mean, I loved it though. Especially you cut this really cool promo on. It was one of my favorite promos you did. It actually ended on my birthday of 2003. It was January 25th, 2003. You cut a promo on Nick Dinsmore. You're saying, "I am the undisputed leader of the Revolution, and there's nobody better than me."
That's right. Just ask me. I'll tell you.
Ask me. It's like, I just love how you delivered the promo, though. And he said, so what? Someone ran off with the OVW belt? Make another one.
Yeah, get another one. I remember that. Yeah, get another one.
Was
He's like, oh, get another one. Get another one. I remember that.
Memories of that promo and working with Nick Dinsmore.
Nick Dinsmore was one of the easiest guys and most pleasure working with. And we worked so well together. We had great ring chemistry. We would get in, we wouldn't have to say anything in the ring to each other. We would just move and go and whatever. It was like a dance. It's like both of us were dancing in there. It was so easy. And then he was just so polished, so good, so easy to work with. Probably out of all the guys that I have worked with in OVW, WWE, independents around the world, he was probably one of the best ones I worked with.
Sweet.
Much love and lots of props to Nick Dinsmore.
Awesome. And on July 11, 1998, you won your first OVW Southern Tag Team title, Flash Flanagan. What were your memories on your first tag title reign with Flash Flanagan?
With WWE?
OVW. July 1998, you won the your first OVW Southern Tag Team title.
Man, you know, to be honest with you, I really don't remember. I really, really don't remember. I've had about 7 concussions in my career, and when I watch some of my stuff on YouTube, I don't even remember the matches that I did. So who says that? Who says wrestling's fake? No. Wrestling's not fake.
It's not.
It's very physical. It's very physical.
I agree, sir.
And I can't remember half the stuff I did actually.
What were your memories working as the Machine?
Best gimmick. I think most fun I ever had. Going out there, just acting a fool. When I first came out as a Machine, I was under the mask, right? Nobody knew who I was. I left wrestling for about 1.5 to 2 years for 2 reasons. One, I had a job. I wasn't able to be on TV. And 2, I took 2 years to work on my body and get bigger. So when I came back to wrestling, I came back under a mask and my body was just totally transformed. Nobody knew it was me. I packed on about 40 or 50 pounds, and it was all muscle, lean muscle. And then I came up with that character, the Machine, from the movie 9mm with Nicolas Cage. And I brought that idea up to Jimmy Cornette, and he loved the idea, and he wrote the storylines for it. It was great.
Sweet. And of course, your memory working with the Revolution. I believe Mark Carpani was in it, Rob Conway, and of course John Hennigan.
Some of the best time, best work, best storylines ever working with these guys. And in Jim Cornette, again, all credit goes to him because he wrote the story. We just performed it. Great. I got to work with a lot of good guys, man.
And your memory on your first ever OVW heavyweight title run.
I don't remember.
Don't worry, sir.
I really don't remember. I'm sorry. I can't remember that far. I was like 23 or 22 or something like that. I was young. I'm 49 now.
Oh, okay. What were your memories? Because you had a really cool match. I watched it the other day. You had a really awesome match with Batista. I think he was known as Leviathan at the time in November of 2001. Memories of working with Batista.
It was actually he was kind of green. He was new, and he was a big guy, hard worker, easy to work with. And I remember when I was come back as the Machine, and we had that match where I dropped the title to him. He beat me, and the place was packed. And the Davis Arena back then was packed. And I remember when he hit me with the spear, and then he hit me with that power bomb, and they pinned me 1, 2, 3. The roof exploded off the house. Everybody was so happy. The match was great. And the most part that was the most exciting for me was the reaction from the crowd when the 1, 2, 3. They just went nuts, and that told me we did our job. We did our job.
And memories working with the late Chris Kanyon?
Oh, so easy. Who better than Kanyon? That was the truth. He had such a good mind for wrestling. He was so clever. He would be able to put finishes together and just he could move in the ring, and then could talk on the microphone too. And I actually went to Clearwater whenever I was going to move to Florida. He let me stay in his place. He lived in Clearwater. He let me stay in his condo for like a week and a half while I searched for a home down there. So me and Who Better, we were pretty good friends, man.
That was pretty cool of him.
Yeah, very cool.
And I know some too with the promo you did with Nick Dinsmore. Ironically, like who made the save because you had Nikita, which I'm gonna ask a question about her later. The person that saved Nick Dinsmore was actually the person that eventually became your manager in WWE, Linda Miles.
Yeah.
What were your memories working with Linda Miles and Nikita?
Well, working with Nikita, the chemistry was so. There was a lot of chemistry there. We worked very well together, and she made it so easy. A lot of times, a lot of the things we do in our ring entrances, she would just say, "Stand there," or "Hey, can we do this?" And "What about this?" And I'm like, "Whatever." And she goes, "Just be you." And I was like, "Okay." So a lot of things that we did was just all ad lib, and the chemistry was just so good between us. And I would wish it would have been. Linda was good and fun to work with. She was just a freak of nature. She was so lean and muscular and tall, and played that part of that dominatrix pretty well, and she actually looked the part. But there's just a little bit of chemistry that maybe it was just a little bit off there, if I had to be honest with you. Nothing against her, nothing against us. It's just people have to gel, and I felt like me and Nikita gelled a lot better than me and Linda. But we did the best we could with what we had. I didn't know anything about S&M. I don't think Linda did. I know Danny didn't. We did the best we could with whatever we were doing. Put a ball gag in your mouth. Okay. Well, what else? Where are these now? Okay. Well, okay. When I was the Machine, I wore that leather mask. It was just from what the movie, what I saw. I didn't do all that crazy stuff. I still don't to this day.
Before I ask next question, let me just say that you had the whole package. Like in OVW, you were totally a star because you had the look, you had the charisma. Like I don't think I've seen any. You're one of the most charismatic wrestlers I've seen. Like in OVW, what were your memories working with your uncle Danny Davis?
Oh man, he trained me. He was my uncle, and it was just he was so knowledgeable and gave me all this knowledge and taught me how to work, taught me all the moves, taught me how to do promos, and just taught me all kinds of stuff. And then being in that storyline with him was so fun because who doesn't want to feud with their family? I was like that little brat kid that he just wanted to bend over and give a spanking to, and working with him, it was easy. It was fun, man. And again, Jim Cornette. Props to Jim Cornette for writing the story.
Do you have a preference?
Everybody done? I think we're finished with class. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, guys. I got to finish up this promo here. And again, we got Megasis.
Hello.
We got Donovan. We got Cal Hero.
Hey.
We got Grant. And then we got the Indian Lion, Mahabali Shira.
Oh, wow.
You guys didn't know you were getting all.
Good, you?
You're getting all this, huh? You got a little bit extra tonight.
Oh, this is awesome. Very awesome. Doug, I want to ask, you portrayed both a baby face and a heel. Which did you prefer?
Heel.
Okay.
More fun.
Now you, of course, you brought up Danny Damaja, right? Did I say that correctly? Damaja?
Sure did. Yep.
In February 2002, you won your second OVW Southern Tag title with Damaja. What were your memories on your second title reign? Of course, working with Danny.
In the WWE?
OVW.
OVW. I don't remember.
Oh, no worries, sir. I do want to talk.
Sorry, man. You know what? You should have sent me some questions so I could have researched myself.
I'm sorry.
I got brain.
I do want to ask because one of my second favorite promos you cut was when you called out Brock Lesnar, and this is where Brock Lesnar, Jim Ross, Jim Cornette, and of course Chris Benoit appeared in the segment. What were your memories doing that segment?
I know. I remember stuff like that. It was, Brock Lesnar. I was supposed to work with Brock, but Vince McMahon didn't want his heavyweight champion coming down here and having a good match with someone from the WWE developmental farm league, whatever. So they come up with the storyline where Brock hurt his arm, and then the commission would he wasn't cleared to wrestle, so they had to have a replacement, and that was Chris Benoit. And, you know, Chris Benoit was, you know, one of my guys I tried to emulate and be like, and getting to work him, I was like ecstatic. I was like, holy crap, this is going to be great. And that match, I've actually watched that match a few times in the past, you know, couple of years, and it was probably one of my best matches ever down here in OVW. And that was the match with Chris Benoit that got me moved up to the main roster in WWE. Jim here and everybody, and I think they sold a lot of those videos. I think they sold a record number of those videos when they would sell OVW tapes to people around the world. That's right.
Now that was OVW Fall Brawl, right?
Fall Brawl, yep.
I watched that. It was incredible. You have one of the best OVW wrestlers going up against one of the greatest wrestling technicians, and it was just pure magic.
Oh yeah, it was. It was so easy. Working with Benoit was so easy. He worked my style. I worked his style. We complemented each other well, and I think we literally really beat the crap out of each other too. Now, very physical.
I gotta ask you your main roster. Like this is now we're gonna get into WWE questions.
Okay.
How did you find out you were gonna be called up to the main roster? Like get called up to SmackDown?
Well, I got called up to do like practice matches so they could take a look at me, and that's when John Cena first moved up and he was doing Ruthless Aggression, and so I was up there. I worked Billy Kidman, I worked Shannon Moore, I worked a lot of, I worked a couple tags and stuff like that. And how did I find out? They just called Jimmy. Then they would call you and say, hey, you got a plane ticket to come up, and you're going to be on the road. You're going to be on a loop for next couple of weeks. And it's like, oh, okay, because everybody's waiting for their time. Everybody's waiting to be moved up. And then you get that call, you get moved up, you go up, you work, and then you see if you made the grade and passed. And that's about how it happened. That's how everybody, Jimmy or Danny would say, hey, you're going to move up and do this, do that, and make sure you do this, and make sure you wear good clothes and play the part and keep your nose clean, mouth shut, ears open. Typical stuff.
I see. And your first match, I'll never forget this too. I've been a fan of your work since I was a 13-year-old lad, 31 now. Like switch the 3 and the 1 around.
Right, I know, right?
Your first match on SmackDown was your debut match. You teamed up with Danny. You were the Basham brothers, and you teamed up against Rikishi and Brian Kendrick. So, what were your memories of your first SmackDown debut match?
We got the stink face. My memories. That was my memories. No, we were in, I think we were in Pensacola, Florida, I believe. And I'll back that story up a little bit. We were setting and catering, and they had me and Danny there, and we had been on the loop for a couple of weeks and had some really good matches with Eddie and Chavo and Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. And then we were sitting in catering one day, and Johnny Laurinaitis came up to us and said, hey, we're gonna put you in. We're gonna debut you guys tonight, and we're gonna call you the Basham brothers. And I was like, oh yeah, yes. And Danny's over there like, oh man, how are we gonna do this? Oh my God, I'm a Basham, but I like it. When they told us we were going to go out with Rikishi and Brian Kendrick, and we were going to go over and take it on Brian, and cheat to win. So then we put together our finish and we did our thing. And their Basham brothers were born.
Sweet. And you came up with the term Basham brothers, right? Or was it John Laurinaitis?
The WWE did.
Okay.
Fine.
Whose idea was
we turn lights off, Cal. Well, bud.
Whose idea was it to pair you up with Linda Miles? Because this is where you did the Dominatrix gimmick with her. Like, whose idea was this?
There was some new young writer, that just got on the scene with I'm sorry, that Johnny Laurinaitis. When I try to act like him, it gave me a throat tickle. They some young writer went to what was her name? Some concert of some young girl. Who's the young blonde girl that went nuts?
I'm not sure.
the young singer. She was young. Crap, it'll come to me here in a minute. I have a Tourette's moment. But he went to her concert, and she had all her dancers dressed in black leather pants, and she was dressed up in like a dominatrix outfit. And he said, "Oh my God, that gives me a great idea. The Basham brothers wear black leather pants. Let's turn them into a dominatrix gimmick. Let's give them a big dominatrix." So that's how that was born.
Oh, okay.
That's how it happened. We said, "Okay, how much money are we making? Okay, yeah."
You had a match in the same year in OVW where you, ironically, you were teaming with Danny Basham, but in OVW in August of 3rd, 2003, you had a match. It was Damaja and Doug Basham for the OVW heavyweight title. And I remember this match because you gave like the fuck you gesture. You're like this, and then you went like this with the arm.
I did it for you?
No, not me. You did it in the match.
Oh. Probably did. I don't know. I did all kinds of stuff. I can't remember half the stuff I've done. Obviously, right?
What were your memories of doing the heavyweight title match with the Damaja?
Oh, back in OVW days?
Yeah.
Oh, that was probably one of the classic matches I had here in OVW, and it meant more to me than anything because it was my final goodbye, and passing the torch off to Danny and letting him carry it. And it was the end of the machine era, the end of the revolution era. Well, end of the machine era anyway. And when we went off air, of course, at the very end of the match, Danny won, and I was like all and emotional. And my Uncle Danny came out and gave me a hug. Then it went off air. And then when it went off air, nobody saw this part, but Danny got out of the ring, and I was standing there, and everybody was cheering, "Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug." And I was like, "Oh man, this is cool. This is really cool." And I waved and goodbye to everybody, and I walked out. And just before I got to the curtain where you walk through, I just put my arm up and just waved bye to everybody and walked through the curtain. That was the last time they ever saw me. They have to watch me on TV ever since. So it was the greatest feeling I think I ever had. It was like a graduation, I guess. I've never had that same feeling ever again. It was awesome.
And that was also at the end of the match where you gave this heartfelt promo, and when you said, "It's over, guys, it's over," yeah. And then the Revolution, you turned face, and then they attacked you after the match.
Yep.
Do you think
so my whole career, I was, for the past 2 years or whatever, 3 years, however long, I was a heel and trying to cause turmoil, and then at the very end, I walked out a babyface.
So you're still one of the best OVW wrestlers. In my opinion, you're one of the best, sir.
Thank you, man.
No problem. And in Vengeance 2003, you took part, along with Danny, in the APA Barroom Invitational. What were your memories of doing that Invitational?
Oh man, I drank beer. I remember that. That was fun. That was just fun. That was like, I'm like, man. So this is what it's all about. Drinking beer on a pay-per-view, getting paid, running somebody through. I think we and Danny threw somebody through a window or a glass pane or something. It was fun. It was fun, man.
You rule, man. And this is pretty interesting too, because this actually foreshadowed, because both you and Danny were in this invitational. JBL was in it, Bradshaw was in it, and of course Orlando Jordan was in it, which was like a foreshadowing of the cabinet.
Yeah, I think Easter Bunny was in it too. I think that was Nick Dinsmore.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Nick. No, Nick portrayed. I think Nick portrayed Doink the Clown in the.
Oh, yeah, Doink. That's right, Doink. Yeah.
The Easter Bunny.
I remember he was in there.
You know who Easter Bunny was? Aaron Stevens.
Aaron Stevens. That's right. I knew it was some boys from Ohio Valley. I couldn't remember who was what. I
see. Now, on October 2003, you won your first WWE Tag Team title with Danny against Los Guerreros. What were your memories of working with the Guerreros, and of course your first tag team title win in WWE?
Man, Eddie is so good. Chavo is so good. It was so easy. All we really had to do was listen and just do and go. And again, it was like a dance with those two guys. It was easy. It was so easy. And then I remember the first time we won the titles from Eddie and Chavo, when we finally won, when the match was over, me and Danny came back first because I think we stole them, or we cheated to win, obviously. We came back and we were waiting after you go through the gorilla and the curtains, you go back this little hallway, and you stand there, and then you got the rest of the arena. We were sitting there waiting, And they came back, and Eddie comes up and says, "Congratulations, boys." He goes, "Now represent them proud. Good luck." I was like, "Oh man, that came from Eddie Guerrero. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's Eddie Guerrero. Oh my God." But then, you know, winning or Eddie and having the titles handed down to us from Eddie and Chavo was just an honor in itself, you know.
Amen. Like, and also I have to ask this too because I always wondered this. Like around 2004, Shaniqua Linda Miles stopped managing you guys. What happened? Like, why did she stop like managing you guys?
I think she got sent back down to OVW to learn some more. I think Vince McMahon thought that she wasn't quite ready yet, and she needed a little more training. So they took her away from us, put us on the shelf, and then sent her back to OVW.
I see.
And you know, waiting to repackage us, basically.
Oh, okay. And now you took part in the first ever 2004 WWE draft, though, and I remember because you and Danny were laughing like at when Shelton Benjamin got drafted. What can you tell me your memories of that day, though? Because I remember it was the SmackDown roster in the locker room. Like, what were your memories doing the locker room that day?
Well, we were told that was that the same year? Was that the same one where me and Danny got split?
Oh, that was the following year.
The following year, okay, yeah. I can't really remember a lot what was going on. You know, we were just told to react to what was going on, and you know, with Shelton and Charlie were tag team partners, we were like, oh,
I remember it was funny.
You know, like see ya. So just react. You know, we didn't know. Of course, everybody knew who was getting drafted. The draft wasn't real. Oops.
That was my next question. If the reactions were like legit, or people knew where they were going.
I'm just going to say nobody knew where they were going, and the reactions were real.
Okay. By the way, you had the best reaction though when you were laughing in the back at Shelton when he got drafted. See ya. Oh, that was funny. You also took part in the Tough Enough Capture the Flag contest, and might I say, you were a oxer. You took down every single one of those participants like there was no tomorrow.
Cool.
You and Danny, your memories of doing Capture the Flag?
It wasn't easy, man. That was a straight up physical fight. That was, you know, they say wrestling. That was real. Let's put it that way. There was nothing phony, fake. There was nothing predetermined about that. That was 100% a shoot, real fight. And the thing, the story behind that is, a couple weeks before that, you know, the Big Show would pick them up and body slam guys, and the guys jumped straight up and kind of embarrassed them a little bit. They didn't do what they were supposed to do, and then Kurt Angle almost got tapped out by the other guy who was a UFC guy,
Daniel Puder.
Yeah, because he had him key locked. And so Vince, you know, his superstars, his $1 million guys were getting embarrassed. So that's when they went and had the women do stuff and all that. And then they had this idea of doing the flag. And so they put two guys who were like mid-carders out there who we were just put on the shelf, you know. We were not on the main roster at the moment. We were doing a lot of enhancement matches for other guys, putting other people over, which, you know, it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a win-loss column in our book. You know, we didn't care if we were win, loss, help people with their storylines. Yeah, we didn't care. It didn't matter. We would put Doink the Clown or the Easter Bunny over. We wouldn't care. What we cared about, so when we got home, we went to the bank, cashed that check. That's all that mattered. But so we got into the ring that day, and we were walking through everything, and Vince McMahon comes up to me and Danny, and he goes, "Boys, you see that flag over there hanging? That's where the flag's going to be. It's hanging right underneath the WWE symbol." So he goes, "Short of killing those boys, make sure they don't get the flag." And it was just like that. And we went, "Oh, shoot. I think our jobs are just put on the line." So yeah, we knew if they got that flag, man, we were fired. So nobody was getting past us. We pulled hair. We knocked teeth out.
Bloodied somebody too. You guys bloodied somebody.
Oh, yeah, we did, man. It was real. It was real to us, because if anybody got past us, we were fired. And the thing about it, they had, of course, nobody knows this, but the guys that were there, they had Charlie Haas and Bob Holly on standby waiting. So if they got past us, they were going to come out and they were going to refilm everything with those two guys.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we did our job, and because we did that, we got rewarded by being put with JBL in his cabinet. That was our reward for representing the WWE and doing well.
I see. And of course, I believe this was your first WrestleMania, WrestleMania 20. It was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Your memories of doing that match?
That, and now I do remember that, because the one thing I remember the most is when JBL grabbed me and threw me over the top rope. I was like, "Oh, Charlie, Shelton, please catch me." And then this is what else I remember. I remember when you walked out of the doors, and the doors open, you walk out and you're walking to the ring. I took about 2 to 3 seconds, and I stopped and went out of character and went, because it's Madison Square Gardens. I'd never been there before, let alone packed with 20,000 people, sold out. It was awesome. I can't even explain the feeling that was, but that was the whole reason I got into wrestling. I was on the winning team, on the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, got my ring. That was my Super Bowl moment, man.
Sweet. And your memories of working with the Dudleys in 2004?
Oh, they're so easy, man. Those guys are great. They were great, easy guys to work with, fun, entertaining. Only thing, it was so easy working with them because people wanted to see the what's up, and they wanted to see the tables, and and everything else was just irrelevant. And Devon and they were just so entertaining and easy. Simple stuff. Nobody got hurt. Get in, get out, don't get hurt. Entertain people, go cash your check. That's pretty much how it worked. One guy takes the nut shot, one guy takes the table. Easy.
Sweet. And now you said the cabinet, though, like you were put in there as a reward, right? It wasn't an idea. It was as a reward for the Tough Enough thing, right?
Yeah, it was actually I think it was actually JBL's and Undertaker's idea. And went to Vince and said, "Hey, you put those boys in jeopardy." And that was a shoot reel, and they represented. We need to reward them, and we got rewarded by being put with JBL. Became tag team champions again. Made a lot of money. We're on pay-per-views with JBL. We're in tag matches as champions on pay-per-views. We made pretty good money. That was our reward. We got rewarded well.
Sweet. And your memories of working in the cabinet?
Oh, easy and fun. Well, I'll tell you, my memory was, that the commercials with the crash test dummies on those commercials. That's what me and Danny were. We were JBL's crash test dummies. He'd go out, have matches. We'd take all the big bumps for him, and he'd win.
And you know what was cool about that? Because on Raw, this is what was really cool about this. Raw had Evolution. They had Batista, Ric Flair, Triple H, and Randy Orton. On SmackDown, you had, and they held all the titles too. Trips had the World, Rick and Batista had the tag, and Randy Orton had the Intercontinental title. Here you had on SmackDown, you had the Bashams as your tag team champions, Orlando Jordan as the U.S. champion, and JBL as the WWE champion, which was pretty cool. So it was like you guys were like so dominating back in 2004, 2005. I mean, you guys were unstoppable.
Oh yeah, and the thing about being in the cabinet and having JBL as a champion, he did such a good job being a heel. People really hated that guy, and because they hated him, they hated us. And JBL did a really good job portraying a heel and getting heat. And I think he was the longest reigning champion, SmackDown champion. I think. I don't know if that may be broken now. That was 20 years ago or so, wasn't it?
Yeah, AJ Styles actually tied. I think he either tied him or he broke the record.
But at that time, man, it was so good being affiliated with JBL because you got heat by association, which made all your matches so much easier. Because as soon as you walked out, people were like, "Oh man, screw you," and it was so easy. You could do anything. And of course, we worked with people like Eddie and Ray and Rob Van Dam and Chavo and Hardcore Holly and Billy Gunn and Rikishi and Scotty. So easy, man. So easy.
what were your memories winning the WWE Tag Team Titles the second time? I think you beat Rey Mysterio and RVD, I think.
Yep, we did. We did. That was, of course, the first time we won them was the most memorable because that was one of our whole goals. My goal was to make it to the WWE, perform in a WrestleMania, and wear gold. And so the second time we won them, we were representing and getting rewarded. It was great that they had the confidence or wanted us to represent. Of course, we were a part of a whole storyline with JBL and working with Rob Van Dam and Ray. Again, just so easy. I know I've said this enough. It was a dance, song and dance, man. It was so easy. Those guys were so good, so professional. And I was very lucky and blessed to be able to work with guys like that.
Sweet. Now, you also have appeared twice on WrestleMania 21, your second WrestleMania, and I remember this too. Like, you were in a inter-promotional battle royal, which I'm going to ask you a question about, like, battle royals in general, and you were also in a backstage segment with JBL and Triple H, though. What were your memories doing that segment where JBL and Triple H, the two heavyweight champions on the respective brands at the time?
I can't remember. You're asking me, so I wish I would have been very prepped. But if I could remember, I could probably tell you this. Anytime you were on a segment with the two champs and you're part of the focus of the pay-per-view, which was WrestleMania, it's no greater feeling in the world, man, because you're on top. You're on top, or you're on top with you're with the guys that are on top. So you get that rub, and nothing feels better in the world, man, because all eyes were on you.
Amen. And you, like I mentioned before, you participated in the Battle Royal of that night too. Like, are there any like rules or like cues that you have to know, like going to the Battle Royal, like don't eliminate this particular person, or you have this much time to be in the ring?
Everybody had a role to play. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, no problem. Also, I do got to ask you too, like, what was the gorilla position like in WWE back then when you were there?
Well, it depended on what was going on at the time. Usually it was very laid back and easy going. And you'd go, if you're standing here, getting ready, and the curtain would be like over here, you would have Vince sitting here along with your agent. And then you would have Pat Patterson sitting there along with Gerald Briscoe doing times and talking to cameras and all this other stuff. And I think Sergeant Slaughter was up there sometimes. And it was laid back. It was easy going, as long as everything was going smooth. Vince was calm, but if things were getting out of hand, Vince throwing stuff, it happened every now and then.
Was Bruce Pritchard in the gorilla position too at the time?
Yeah, sometimes he'd be up there, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now
I think he was more with, sometimes he would be up there. Different people would be in there, depending on the show, SmackDown or Velocity.
Oh, and when you do when you're in the gorilla position, when you have to do a run-in though, like, do they tell you go when your cue's up, or like how do they get you to go do the run-in? Like if you're interfering
you're up there, you just kind of watch, know your spot.
Oh, okay. And there was a gorilla position in OVW, right?
Yeah, there's one.
How did it differ from the one in WWE?
The people in it.
Who was the people?
Same. It's all the same.
Okay. I just wasn't sure who was in the gorilla position in OVW, like backstage.
Danny Davis, Jim Cornette, or Danny Davis was in the gorilla position. He was the main guy working the cameras and controlling everything. Jim Cornette and Dean Hill were out doing the commentating.
Now was because I know, like, they say that Vince is like feeding the announcers, the commentators, something in their earpieces, like in the headset. Did Danny Davis do the same thing for his commentators?
No, Jim Cornette didn't need anybody talking to him.
Now, this is what I wanted to ask. So, like, this is the draft 2005. Unfortunately, Basham brothers split up. I mean, Danny went to Raw, became the Damaja again. You did the Bashman gimmick. How did you guys find out that you guys were being split up?
Vince McMahon came up to us one day as we were walking down the hallway. He said, "Boys, come here. I want to talk to you." I said, "Yes, sir. How you doing, boss?" He goes, "The draft's coming up. We're going to split you guys up. Danny, we're going to send you to Raw. Doug, we're going to keep you here on SmackDown. And I want both of you guys to come up with a character idea and present it to me." We were like, okay. Okay. That was it. That was it.
How'd you personally feel about the split, though? Like,
it was time. We were both ready. We knew it was going to happen at some point, and we were ready for it. And we were actually both wanting to have a singles career, and it just didn't come to fruition for either one of us, unfortunately.
hey, everybody. Unfortunately, when I asked my next question to Doug, the internet connection dropped. Hopefully, I'll have part 2 of my interview with Doug in the foreseeable future. But thank you again for tuning in to tonight's episode.